I clicked the button. You are live. See that? It says right on the screen. Welcome, everyone, to the Podcasters Lounge. Hey, look. You see this? Look at that. That's the Podcasters Lounge little logo. And, of course, we are a Facebook group and a live stream. So this is the live stream. I'm Chris Curran from Podcast Engineering School. Wait. There it is, Podcast Engineering School. That's my school anyway. Mark, are your headphones really loud?
They are a little bit, but I have this volume knob that I can actually control the volume from my own personal experience.
I think I'm hearing some feedback. So Mark Deal is here of the Podcast Editors Club, the Podcast Editors Conference. He's on the board of Cool People in Georgia. There's an actual board for that.
I guess they weren't very selective then.
Mark brings cookies to the meetings, I think. So Mark Deal, welcome, brother.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me. It's good to see. It's been so long since we saw each other, like a whole week.
I know. And back when we saw each other, we might have been unknowingly infecting each other with something.
Don't even say it. Don't even say it.
Not that we really got that close physically, but
and I'm sure Chris is going to talk about this more, but I kicked off this all day thing. I got up there in the front before session started. I was like, I just want to acknowledge the elephant in the room. At this time, the coronavirus was like a few people had heard about it. It was starting to make the news. Like, I've got hand sanitizers in this room, which people thought was a little weird, but whatever. Now, yeah. How risky was all that, right? Knowing what Gary, we know now.
Yeah, I know. It literally, like, if Podfest happened like 3 or 4 days later, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, it wouldn't have.
No one would have went. Welcome, Gary. Welcome, Daniel. Brad Hargis. Oh my God. Look at this. All-stars in the chat already. Boom. Facebook user. By the way, Facebook user, you can give Facebook permission to show your name. Yes, Gary, this is a CV12. Yeah, and we talked about it on the stream yesterday. I've had this mic for probably 8 years, and I rarely use it, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to break it out. Why not? So, and guess who's here too?
Bringing the whole show down, this guy.
Oh, jeez, Ross Brand. Welcome, bro.
You went out and got a big-time guest. You didn't need me. I'm like sitting there in the thing like, how do I want to ruin this or do I want to just let this guy go? Thanks so much for having me on, Chris. It's great to be here. Great to be back on the lounge. The lounge.
The lounge.
The lounge.
Does that make us lounge lizards?
Yes.
Remember that old Leisure Suit Larry game? Was I the only one? Am I that old? Yeah, okay, I'm that old. All right.
You're not older than... How old are you?
I am 44.
Yeah, see, I'm 47, Ross.
And I'm older than that.
Yeah. All right. So the whole Leisure Suit Larry and the Land of the Lounge Lizards, that old computer game, none of you guys remember that?
No. All I know is Gordon Firemark in the Podcasters Lounge Facebook group. He said something about lounge lizards, and I immediately tried to switch it. I made a post saying we're not lizards, we're lounge lions. and then he commented on that. He's like, no, that doesn't work. Not good. And I was like, yeah, you're right. It doesn't work. Lizards is much better. So anyway, we're lounge
Jason,
lizards.
it was. Jason's comment, the game was like rated R. It certainly was. In fact, I was a kid. That game, it had questions that you had to answer. So the game would know if you were an adult or a child. And I was just a child. I was trying to guess at things. I was like, you get 3 wrong. I was like, you're a child trying to fool an innocent game. Yeah, I was like 8 years old trying to get in my dad's computer game, Leisure Suit Larry, because they had like these 8-bit pixelated, things.
So I gave a talk. I was in the Podcast Editors Conference. I was on a panel, and then I gave a talk at Podfest. And when I was preparing for that, I made these slides, and it was just literally blocks of text on a slide. It was like, those. It was terrible. And I was like, I don't know what to do. So I asked for help. And guess who stepped forward to help tweak my slides that I got complimented on later? Hey, Eldest Bro, what's up? Who do you think worked on my slides? It was Larry Roberts who's here right now.
Wow.
Oh,
Look at that.
up, man?
That is something else, I tell you.
Wow. Good to have you here, Larry. And thanks again for tweaking my slides, brother.
Yeah, they were nice. They were really nice. I tweak really well. Quite the tweak.
Yeah, and my so I think I had about 10 or 11 slides, and by the time you got done with it, it was like 25. But again, I just had literally the entire slide covered with text mostly.
Yeah, it was just walls of text on every side. It wasn't that big a deal. No big deal. It was fun to do. So I
Poor
appreciate
guy had to look through it and figure it out. So can we get 5 people on StreamYard?
You can get 6. You could add 2 more if you wanted to.
All right. I want everybody. Hey, conservative Josh, welcome. And Brent, welcome. Wow, up the game again, dude.
Oh.
You want to talk about upping game? Hold on. We all need to. All right, take off your hats. We need to stand up. We need to stand at attention. Yeah, stand up. Don't move the camera. Just stand up. It'll look weird, but this is how we welcome Ralph M. Rivera.
oh, I'm sitting down now.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So first of all, are you going to yell at me for not having a microphone and for dialing in with my cell phone?
Oh yeah.
Not to your face, no.
Because I'm in an undisclosed bunker because the CDC has just announced that the epicenter, patient 0 of COVID-19, is Mark Deal's beard. So,
Wait, is this the right mic?
God, look at that. He's rubbing that Corona all over that.
Yeah.
So listen,
Now-
I'm only on for a second with a public service announcement for Chris that my wife told me that I had to make because in preparation for the coronavirus, I went out and I got 7 bottles of whiskey.
Oh.
There we go. 7 bottles
hold
all
on.
ready to go. And each of these 7 bottles, I'm going to drink them all tonight to try to kill the virus.
Dude, how much of a tip or how much money would it take for you to literally in the next 10 minutes to finish one of those bottles? Right on stream.
A lot of Bitcoin.
I got
Oh, someone. All right.
Actually, Bandrew just sent me a message a couple minutes ago, and he said that he challenged me to drink at least one of these bottles live on air.
Dude, come on, Ralph. Do it for the
Take one
team.
for the team. Take one for the team.
Didn't you hear the notices about not hoarding necessities?
Well, yeah, precisely. And actually, here I'll show you what else.
You're going to bring the camera in the bathroom, aren't you? Aren't you?
No, I also have
Oh, cigars in your
a good
humidor?
stock of cigars. So in an emergency, I'm all prepared. Look at that, autographed by Rocky Patel himself. I'm all ready to go.
Wow. He's ready. What preparation?
That's me.
As I burp. So who here owns any cryptocurrency? I'm raising my hand. Yeah, Larry Roberts does. Mark Deal? He does. Okay.
A little bit.
Anyway.
not as much today as I did yesterday.
Well, what about Podcoins? Brad Hargis asks.
Too soon.
Too soon? Oh.
All right, dinner's calling and Ralph is hungry, so I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
Okay, Ralph. Thanks for stopping in, bro. Wow. That's it. End of stream, right? We're done.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
You know, it's like having a Hollywood star come on and then leave, and then we're just like, okay, dude, what's up, man?
The Hollywood
All right.
star has his own agenda. He's going to talk about whatever. Like, you have no idea. He's just got his own agenda he's going to talk about. Doesn't need a mic. Doesn't have to have any preparation. He just comes on and brings it.
So let's quickly go through each of you and tell us what you're up to these days. Like, not promote, but just tell us what you're doing. Like anything you're doing. So Larry, we'll start with you, brother.
Well, right now I'm actually, and I announced it just, I think Friday, I'm on a hiatus from podcasting because of The Voice. It's just not here. And something I've been fighting for a few months. I had some folks guest host for me for a few episodes, but it's gotten to be too much and I can't get caught up. So hiatus till 5/5, but I'll be back then, and I'll be doing some updates in between then or now and then as well. And I'm still writing. I'm still writing for Podcast Business Journal. Had an article come out today for them, trying to write for Pod Move Daily as well.
Yes.
A little slower to respond than Mr. Ryan is with the PBJ. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. Just trying to stay relevant and get well.
So the article that you wrote, here it is.
Yes.
Oh, geez.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, that's okay. I can handle that. I can handle a pop-up these days. Okay. Yeah, 3 ways to overcome post-Podfest comparanoia. So define comparanoia.
Well, it's a portmanteau. There's a big word for you that takes compare or comparison with paranoid or paranoia and brings them together to make comparanoia. It was trademarked by a friend of mine, David DiGiorgio, and he did his TEDx talk on comparanoia. So he was kind enough to let me borrow the word for this article, and I can't thank him enough because it turned out to be a pretty decent little article.
Nice. So conservative Josh says, how's everyone doing today? I think we're all doing pretty good. How are you, Josh? Portmanteau. Hashtag Eric Hunley. Oh, wait, is it Eric Hunley who coined that word?
Portmanteau that's just a regular word, but Eric Hunley has a podcast by the name of Portmanteau.
Look at this. The comments are going right over your face, Larry. That's not cool.
That's not cool at all.
Yeah, but look at that. There he is.
You might get better ratings if you cover my face.
Oh, jeez.
Portmanteau sounds like a wine from Portugal.
Yeah. Like
I'll have the portmanteau.
I picture Mark Deal like swirling it around in his cup and smelling it, right?
Sure.
So Mark Deal, give it to us. Who are you? What are you doing, brother?
I'm Mark Deal. Longtime listener, first time caller. Thank you for having me. Now I feel like I'm a brand new homeschooler. I've got my kids home indefinitely. I don't know. They're out for at least 4 weeks to 4 months to 4 years. I'm not sure how long they're out of school. I'm still recovering from Podfest and our first ever podcast editors conference. Steve and I did with the help of 11 other speakers. In fact, Chris, you were there. You spoke there. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time. It was an amazing day, and we're working on something to build on top of that.
Yeah, Podcast Editors Club on Facebook. By the way, if you're listening to this and you do anything with post-production of audio, join that. And welcome Jay Rays on Twitch. Twitch, baby. Yes. Yeah. And Josh says he's doing good. His podcast is a little slow right now. He doesn't want to talk about the current. Yeah. So, but I didn't mention it at the top, but we're here in the lounge. Oh yeah, baby. Look at that. Little mini grunts. Makes sense here. Okay. Anyway, so we're just kind of chilling in the lounge. Like there's really no rules in the lounge, but one of the things over the past few days of streaming in the lounge, it's like really good just to kind of just hang out and chat about stuff, even if it is Corona stuff a little bit, but at least everyone can relax and not vent, but I guess I should put it back to there. You know what I mean? Like just relax, I guess is the word, right?
Yeah, it's good to connect with people too. I mean, like this is the closest to like human contact that I have during the day pretty much these days, except for going to the store to see if they got any more bottled water or other necessities in. So I guess yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, tell everybody who I am. Okay, so I host every other Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I host StreamYard Connect, which is a show that the product that Chris is using right now to stream uses boy, that this is really articulate. Let me start again. Cut. Take 2. I'm Ross Rand from Livestream Universe, and I host StreamYard Connect every other Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern for StreamYard. And because we're all sequestered or quarantined or just taking precautions, I thought it'd be a good time to do a daily show. So Michael Kinney and I tomorrow are launching Podstream Live. It's a podcast that we're live streaming the recording, and it's only on Twitch. So it'll be every day at 2 p.m. Eastern, except for the days that I do StreamYard Connect, which is every other Wednesday. We may do a primetime episode on those Wednesdays, but the Twitch channel is Podstream Live. So it's basically going to be two professional broadcasters. My background's in radio, his background's in TV and film and acting. And we're just going to talk about what we're working on, what we see, just very casual conversation, and hope people join us. Hope people enjoy it.
Nice.
So, Rob, what kind of feedback do you get on Twitch? I've considered starting a channel over there, but I don't. Is there a place for it for podcasts?
I get absolutely nothing on Twitch. Nobody watches me on Twitch.
That's awesome. Okay, great. That's motivating. I'm going to start one right now.
So, so this is a new channel. It's a new show. I send my shows to multiple places, and Twitch is the least activity of any of them for me. But this, because it's recording a podcast that's talking about work, it may fit in with that sort of just chatting talk show on Twitch mode. I don't know if it will or it won't, but the idea is take advantage and learn the platform a little bit and create something just for Twitch, and then we can always take clips and stuff and share it elsewhere. But now I have no special insights on how to build an audience on Twitch.
Right? Twitch hates boomers.
I love that comment.
Is it true? Like all the younger, and by the way, boomer. This might prove me being a boomer, which I'm not though. But does boomer mean like older people, baby boomers? Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Dan Hughley.
I'm Gen X, so Twitch should love me, right?
Same with me.
And they don't.
What's up, Dan Hughley? Dan Hughley. If you can tell your buddy Johnny Podcast to jump in the chat, that'd be great. Dan Hughley does the Johnny Podcast. Have you guys heard that show yet? Yeah,
I heard you were on it. I
was. By the way, here's Ross's show, StreamYard Connect. Is it going to find it? No. Is it? Oh, this is the Facebook page. All right, we'll settle for that for right now. There you go. The Johnny Podcast. Okay, yeah, here's the logo right here. What if you click on the logo? Does it make it? Oh, yeah, baby. Anyway, if you were born in 1954 or before, you're a boomer. Okay. Well, we're all not boomers then.
I was a boomer for a few months, I suppose.
Johnny isn't here. Yeah. He had somewhere else vague to be. Okay.
I think am I a wire? I was born in 72. Does that make me a Gen Y?
That's
no,
Gen
X.
Gen X.
Gen X? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm the same age as you, Larry. 72.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
We're Gen X. We're
64 to the 82 or something like that. Or 80 something.
Okay, cool.
Right. There you go.
Welcome to the What Generation Are You Hour, live on Podcasters Lounge.
Yeah. All right, everyone type in the chat. What generation are you? Hurry up. Type in the chat quickly. Of course, the folks from Twitch, they'll receive the stream quicker and their comment will come back to us much quicker.
Oh, you're right. Check it out.
And of course, it's politically incorrect to make generalizations about any other group of people, but somehow we can take everybody that's born in a 20-year period and assume they've got similar characteristics like a zodiac sign or something.
Oh, Josh, you're a Zoomer? Is that really what you're calling yourselves? Hey, Rothamar. Millennial. Okay. And millennial is Z, right? No, yeah. Or Y.
Why?
Okay. All right. So anyway, you're kind of new here. You don't know what we talk. So this, just to reiterate, this is the Podcasters Lounge. Like, we're just here hanging out. Ed Sullivan's here, but on the Podcasters Lounge, we just hang out and stream and have fun and relax. That's all we do here. But of course, each of us has our own shows and all that. So, I mean, you probably all know my show, but I
Tell
had
us
some
about it.
topics. Well, these comments are, I'm getting killed with comments here, which is a good thing, right?
It's good. People are
Mark
watching.
Deal,
People are
talk
here.
for a little while.
Yes.
They wanted to know what mic you're using. Tell us about your mic.
You know, it's funny. I had to look it up because it's an old shotgun microphone. My studio is kind of in shambles here, but I saw that comment and I had to go into Amazon. I was like, look at microphones. And I had to scroll to page 3 to find it, but it's the AT875R. It's like a $200 shotgun microphone, but I like it when I'm doing video stuff because I don't have to have a, microphone right in my face.
Right. Kelvin West, what's up, man? Yeah, the AT875R.
Yeah, it's a meh. In fact, I even wrote it down to.
It's a short shotgun. It's supposed to be really good. People like it a lot. Okay, that's a huge picture though.
Yeah, I know of a few people that use it for podcasting, but this was like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and I picked one up, and it's good for most video stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Oh wait, I'm not. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm looking at it on my own screen, going, "Oh yeah, it looks pretty good." Idiot. You know what we need, Ross Brand? I need a person. Does anybody like have a producer switching screens and like do it and not talking on camera? Because it's hard to do everything.
I'd love one of those.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Facebook user, what software do you use? Well, we're using StreamYard right now. Oh wait, conservative Jot really upgraded his mic from a Blue Yeti Nano to a Shure PGA 48 and Euphoria UM2. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I had a few things to talk about. What did I have here to talk about? Oh, by the way, the Sunshine Summit started yesterday with Heather Welch in New Zealand. She runs this every year or twice a year. And at the end of this lounge stream, which is going to be about an hour and 40 minutes from now, that's when today's Sunshine Summit starts. The first interview she's doing today. So once we stop this stream, we can all just jump over to the Sunshine Summit and crash that party and say hello and say hi. Oh, because by the way, guess who Heather's talking to? The Geeks Rising Network with Bandrew and a few of the other hosts on the Geek Rising Network. So anyway, we can all troll Bandrew over there if you want. So any news? I just heard that San Francisco is like literally not only closing everything, closing stores, closing restaurants, but like they're just telling everyone to stay home. Like it's one step shy of complete lockdown. And like I think they're the first area to take it that far. But it kind of makes sense though, that there's a lot of people in that area, right? And a lot of,
I think it's 6.7 million people are being affected by the lockdown. So you're allowed to still go to work, from my understanding, go to the store to buy essentials. Maybe family members, you can go see family members if need be, and come and go if you live or don't live there. But beyond that, stay off the street, stay in your house where you are. So yeah, it's one step away basically from the M word, martial law.
oh, hide your kids, hide your wife. Oh boy. Arizona's next. Is that true? Oh, it's also happening in Ohio. Oh, but see, we're breaking news here in the lounge, by the way. You guys realize this?
Texas is locking down too. Dallas just locked down a little while ago. It's in effect as of 11:59 tonight. Houston's done it. We expect it to be statewide by tomorrow.
New Jersey's supposed to be an 8 p.m. curfew. I haven't seen news on it. I was just told. So if I decide to go out tonight, I'll check that before I go for a drive.
8 p.m. is early, boy.
But I'm pretty much staying in. So
So Mark, how about you, man?
As far as lockdown?
Yeah. You're locked down?
Well, the kids are out of school basically until further notice. The parents are kind of doing the over under on that. I think April 13th, some are saying probably for the rest of the school year. We can't have gatherings more than 50 people. As you know, I run a big meetup. We routinely get 100 people every month. So we've canceled this month and next month's event and just playing things by ear.
Yeah, Facebook user. By the way, you can give Facebook permission to show your name in StreamYard. There's a link in the post itself. He doesn't understand shutting everything down, but leaving big factories open seems that it would still have a great opportunity to pass on the virus. Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, I think the whole point is like we're just shutting down everything we can shut down, just to slow things down as much as we can. I mean, we still need food, we need water, we need services, right? I mean, right? Is that, you guys agree with that?
I like eating and drinking, so I think that's the key there, at least for me, Matthew.
1,500 people in line at Costco.
Yeah, I think the fact that we're a just-in-time society, we don't stockpile anything. All manufacturing and distribution is done from a just-in-time perspective, and that leaves us in a position to where if we still want to maintain levels of necessities, we have to leave these manufacturers and distributors open.
Right. I wonder what happens if we. Oh yeah, it won't let us. I was trying to get us 4 side by side, but StreamYard is smart enough to know that would be too skinny. My uncle said it would be a hilarious time for truckers to go on strike. Oh, hilarious. Oh God, not. Yeah, that's a little crazy. So I don't know, even going out to, like, I literally haven't been out of my house in 5 or 6 days. So like, we donated a car and I gave him the wrong title because it was such an old car. And so they're like, no, we need the real title. And I was like, what? And then I found the real title. And so I don't know, do I drive it over there and hand it to those people, or do I mail the title of a car? I mean, look, it's an old car. It's not worth very much, but I don't want to mail the title of a car, right? Would you guys mail the title? Would you feel comfortable? I don't.
If I'm giving away the car at that point, I wouldn't care that much.
I know, but then I thought that too, but yeah, you would just drive it. Yeah, I think I'm going to drive it. And then I'll just like make a paper airplane out of it and stay far away and just, throw it in the doorway and be like, hey, that's my title, dude.
They can also, can't they go down to the DMV or whatever your local municipality is and apply for a lost title and say they paid like $1 for the car so they don't have to pay taxes on it?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but because they're local and I actually have the title in my hand, I think just to save them the time. I mean, they're just an organization that accepts donations. It's one of those, you just donate your old car kind of thing. It's not, I didn't sell it. I just donated it.
Well, if it's an organization, I'd feel guilty. I'd have to take it to them.
Right. Yeah. So, well, this is, so Sunshine Summit is later. Your concern is voting tomorrow. Is there voting tomorrow? Okay.
Georgia moved theirs to June.
Oof.
Ohio might still be on. I'm not sure.
There you go. All right. Well, let's check pod news. Did you guys read your pod news today?
I did.
I have not yet.
What do we got? Advertising a podcast, our largest download day ever. Sean Howard of Fable and Folly Productions. I mean, I don't know. I wonder why is that really news though? Oh, it's our largest download day ever. I mean, what if I had my largest download day ever? Who cares? I mean, besides, Ralph M. Rivera.
Like a humble brag way to write an article.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. I mean, James is a good journalist. He's not just going to post. All right, here's what I there's a webpage for funny sayings and puns. I wanted to read a few of these. Although that's going to take too long. This is the YouTube video where they show like literally this is live. Well, I'm not playing it now, but this is live, just live streamed on YouTube, and it shows all the countries, all the cases, deaths, recovered, shows all different graphs. I think it plays corny music. So that's pretty interesting. Oh, and then wait, why can't I hear that? Oh yeah.
Sound great. Yes, we're going to sound better today. This podcast is going to be awesome.
All right. Anyway. All right, you maniacs. So what are we going to talk about? It's the lounge. What are you guys drinking? I'm drinking water.
I had some hot tea, but I didn't bring it down here. So how's are you guys doing more work, less work with coronavirus?
Same.
Everyone's quiet. Same.
Yeah. Same.
Actually, before I left for Podfest, there was a conference series in Europe because the whole plague epidemic thing hit there before here. That's why it was first and foremost in my mind before I did the podcast editors conference and bringing hand sanitizers. But there was a conference that was canceled there and they wanted to do a show. So they reached out to me. And then I got the idea to reach out to conferences I spoke at last year that canceled their shows for this year. I was like, hey, you guys want to do a branded podcast? So even though there's like ups and downs and, lemons, you can try to make some lemonade. So there's hopefully some silver lining out there for those of us in the digital analog industry here. Am I doing this right? Pointing at my microphone?
Yes. That's interesting. Yeah. Does StreamYard allow to bring in or take call-ins? Yeah, we could bring in guests. That's how I started the stream, and I brought in Mark and Larry and Ross. And if there's anyone else who wants to jump on, you could. Ross said you can have up to 6 people. So Daniel says he lost one client due to economic downturn, but I've had like 3 bonus episodes from other clients. Cool. Vitamin water. All right. So I have a client who on Mondays I finalize their episode that goes out Tuesday. So today during the day, she sends me the title and the description of the show, and I finished and then I put the correct ads in, and I produced the final episode and then scheduled it for tomorrow morning. So I did all that. And then I get an email saying that, oh, we got to switch tomorrow's episode because the guy who was reading his essay, he wrote an essay, and now with all the Corona stuff, the essay, the tone of the essay, he might want to tweak it or change it. But we recorded this like 2-3 weeks ago. And so they're like, oh, well, and so instead of putting that one out tomorrow, we're going to put this other one out tomorrow. So now literally after the lounge tonight, I literally have to produce, well, I already produced the main conversation part. So I just have to finalize it all and do all that. But anyway, that again, because of the coronavirus, what he was talking about now, it sits in a different light, I guess, because it's all about crypto and the markets, I guess. Interesting. See, Brad Hargis, at least he's in chat. He's usually here with me. But, sometimes it's like family, the lounge, family, wife's happiness, the lounge. I mean,
it's not as easy a decision as you might think.
I see your lounge on, quite a bit, but how often do you do the lounge?
We started once a week, but then I missed a few. So then we just said we'll do it once a month because that's easy. And then I don't know, like for the past 3 days, I just been streaming every day because we're all just home hanging out. And so I bring different people on and we just hang out and chat. So I don't know, during this whole period when everyone's home, we'll probably stream more, but there's really no plan. I just started this just for fun and stuff, and it's sort of taking off, but I just realized oh yeah, Mark. Yeah, Mark, anytime, bro. I don't know when you sent that message, but if any of you guys got to run, feel free. Really, this is not a major production at all. We had Ralph M. Rivera on here. That should tell you that this is, C-level or D level entertainment here. Oh, jeez. Can we just make fun of Ralph for the rest of the? We should have a make fun of Ralph marathon. That's it. Just see how far we can go.
I didn't see Ralph at Podfest. It was one of the disappointments of an otherwise spectacular conference.
Yeah, you should ask him why. You should ask him why you didn't see him. See what he says.
And coincidentally, his booth was right next to yours.
Yeah. Coincidentally, we planned that.
It's been that way at every conference I've been to.
Yeah, about the last year and a half, that's what we've done. Larry, where do you live, bro?
I'm just north of Dallas.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask, honestly, and with Podcast Movement coming to Dallas, this year, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I'm curious from all three of you, actually, because I know you're not as new to this as I am. I've only been podcasting a few years, going on close to 5 years now, and I've only been to 2 conferences. Went to PM19 and now Podfest. So without like judging one over the other, give me an idea how you felt Podfest was in comparison to your experience over the years of attending various conferences, because I felt that Podfest was phenomenal. I mean, it was great. I had a great time, learned a lot, met a lot of cool people. And it was just something that I'm going to have a hard time recreating the 3 days that I experienced there. And I'm wondering, is that par for the course for Podfest, or what are your thoughts?
Okay. Mark, do you have any thoughts?
I do. I've basically been to all of them. In fact, you see my back, that's the like PM14 t-shirt and
yes,
whatever. I found, Vice comparing Podfest to Podcast Movement and some of the other conferences. What I tell everybody is go in with a plan. Write down like the 6 people that you must absolutely have to meet, chat with in person, whether you haven't met them before or you've exchanged interactions online, whatever. Come up with a plan. Come up with your own personal conference plan and follow that plan. Make sure you meet those people. Reconnect with people that you have met prior. Like see Chris. Every time I see him, we always chat and hang out, and then meet some new people. And for me, that's my plan. So it's kind of hard to compare one to the other, because if one, for example, I was actually sick Podcast Movement 2019. Conference crud is a thing. Usually I'm pretty good about it. That's why I came prepared at Podfest. But yeah, I got a little sick. And because of that, I didn't have the best Podcast Movement that I usually do. But that's on me, not the organizers. So right. Yeah, it's a really roundabout way of not answering a question and kind of putting it on you, vice organizers. Go in with a plan, and you can get a lot done. But both are pretty big. Podfest is about 2,000 now. Podcast Movement's about 3,000. Some may be too small, too big, whatever. Just come up with your plan and find places for to meet people. In fact, that was key. I found it with Podfest. I found that back little corner in the other expo hall that wasn't being used. It was nice and quiet. So that was a perfect spot to record stuff with people or direct other people to record. Like, oh, go check out this spot. So yeah, just kind of get to know the lay of the land. But, what do you think, Chris?
Well, Larry, you were going to follow up.
Yeah, I was just going to say that in no way am I trying to compare the two organizations or say one's better than the other, because I've got some ties to Podcast Movement, but I had a great time at Podfest. And so I'm not looking to really compare. I think you're comparing apples to oranges in all honesty there. But just from the overall feeling of the event, I thought the feeling of the event was really, really great. And forget naming a conference, just any conference. Do you see that type of camaraderie and just the opportunity for people to learn from each other and uplift each other? I mean, that was the biggest thing that I took from Podfest, was just everybody's there to help genuinely. They don't just say it to BS their way through a post on Facebook or something. They were generally demonstrating a desire to help. And I was just wondering if that's something that we had kind of seen over the years, and if that's something that's new that's starting to make its way into the industry, or if it's something that's been carried along since the dawn of time.
Yeah. I have some thoughts. Ross, you want to go first? Do you have anything?
Sure. I think because Podfest started so small and started as a almost like a local meetup into a community event, into a, I don't know if I'd call it a regional event, but it feels, even though now it's really probably the second biggest podcast conference in the world. And, it's really one of the two that you'd say, these are the ones you put up in lights or whatever. Podfest has held on to that sense of community, that sense of sharing, that sense of, I think the people that work for Podfest, they're very good about trying to make everybody feel included. I don't know who's a speaker and who's an attendee and who works there and who's it's just everybody's there to kind of get together. And I feel like I go there for the people and for that sort of spirit of the independent podcaster. And then I go to Podcast Movement for some aspects of the industry that only, there's some brands that only will go to Podcast Movement. There's a few big podcasters or even mid-sized podcasters who only go to Podcast Movement. So that's kind of the way I see it. I think if you're into this, they're both great events to have on your calendar. But even there, I mean, Podfest has a very good trade show, very good expo. I've spent time with friends and had a great time at Podcast Movement. So I think they're both great conferences. I think the spirit of the podcast community, having gone to events in other communities, is a little more egalitarian, a little more helpful, a little more. You don't get a lot of podcasters who are like, I'm too important to say hello, or there's a couple like that, but for the most part, you get that sometimes in other aspects of the other areas of the content creation experience, more so than, which is one of the reasons that I enjoy going to podcast events. And I enjoy going to DC Podfest, which I've been to, MapCon, which is now Indie PodCon, Joe Pardo's event. So I enjoy all those the different events, and I like the smaller events too, because everybody's in one room, and you get to spend significant amount of time with people, and you can learn from everybody. So that they all have their strengths. I wouldn't pick one over the other, although I would say that there's something really special about what Podfest has going on, because it's grown into really a big event without losing that smaller event community feel.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with everything. And yeah, in general, Podcast Movement, they're going for the big names, the big money, big shots, big lights, big stars, big whatever. And, they just want people to show up. Like, they want numbers, they want people to show up, and they produce a good event. But it does feel a bit more sterile, a little more corporate, not like family. Let's put it that way. Podfest is different. Podfest is Chris Kremitzos, and he's just a real dude, genuine dude, loves people, loves everybody. He when you get to know him, he's a great guy, and that Podfest event embodies all that, and it is like family. It's just completely different. So, and both are great. Both are good in their own way. I mean, we need a conference that goes after big shots and has all these big corporate people there, right? We need that. Absolutely. And we also need a Podfest where it is us. It's more independence, and it's just us as a family. So that's the difference. But yeah, everyone feels that way about Podfest, Larry. Like, everyone you attend and you're just like, man, this is cool. These are my peeps.
Yeah, it was great. I had a good time, and I'll be at Indie PodCon as well this year. So,
oh, cool.
MapCon. Is it normal to write a script for your podcast?
Depends what kind of podcast you have, right?
Yeah, I'd say most podcasters do not write a script, but some do, right? Yeah. I mean, it depends what you're doing. Most podcasts are still interview shows, right? Would you say, Mark?
I think a lot of them are the Me Too interview podcast, but even then they should have an outline, know where they're going, and hopefully by 2/3 of the way into the interview, they know how they're going to end it. And I love when shows, especially interview-based shows, where both the host and the guest and the listener cross the finish line at first, and not one is trying to rush there in front of the other. I'm not going to get on that soapbox about interviews.
Yeah. Someday we're gonna.
Can you summarize what the argument will be for those who haven't heard it?
Oh,
sorry.
No, that's fine, Ross. A lot, and these are, I think, newer podcasters. They want to interview somebody, and they want to show, even though they're the host, like really digging into the guest. They want to show how much they know about a subject. Like, hey, I want to ask you a question about, the time you changed the tire. And then halfway into it, it's like, oh, well, I did something like change a tire, but I had to change 3 tires at once. And it seems like they're kind of rushing ahead, or they don't stop. Like, say they explain or they cover a big concept that maybe the casual listener to that show doesn't know, like, how do you change a tire? And then they don't stop to educate the listener to bring them up to that point. Right. So for me, I think of podcast interviews kind of like a choreographed race where the host, the co-host, and the guest and the listener all cross the finish line at the same time. If you think of it like that, and I kind of have to, I'm a podcast director, like TV directors, movie directors, I direct podcasts with hosts and co-hosts and guests. And that's the way I look at it. Like, let's all cross the finish line together. Yeah, Soapbox engage. Brent's right there with me. He's all about the power of the interviews.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you see even in major radio and TV, where a good guest, big name guest comes on, or somebody who's supposedly an expert, and the host switches into this. The point of the interview isn't to open up the guest and get their voice out to the audience and let the audience decide. The point of the interview becomes the host showing the guest how smart they are and how knowledgeable they are. And so that's not just a podcaster problem. That's throughout broadcasting. You see that happen.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that it's the host. The guests do it too. Sometimes there are. I'll do this a few times. I'll sandbag my credentials. I don't throw everything at them. Like, oh yeah, Mark Deal. I do this thing that may be relevant to your audience, but I don't like laundry list everything, because then you're going to overwhelm the host and the audience. But sandbag a little bit. And I remember once I did an interview with somebody that I'm sure a lot of people may here know, so I'm not going to mention them by name. But I was talking about how I was speaking at this.
Makes it more fun if you mention them by name.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not going to do that. These live videos stick around. In video.
I got to learn that.
I know how they work. But yeah, we were talking about, speaking at this, this one conference, and then the host was like, oh yeah, I spoke at, whatever, in like 3 different conferences. And like, oh, I remember that. I was the keynote there. But basically, because I sandbagged my credentials, I was able to bring it out when the host was trying to run away with I've got that and one more on you. So yeah, just whether you're the host, the guest, or whatever, just try to get across that finish line together. How do you minimize being nervous when you get a big name guest?
What's up, Andrew? Yeah, we're rocking and rolling. Dude, there's a deer literally standing right at the window. Hey, buddy. Oh, it's a little buck. He's literally just starting to grow his new horns.
He wouldn't do that in Texas, I'll tell you that.
Wow. Yeah. No, here it's okay, so but you got to understand the reason, like, I didn't want to interrupt everything, but like literally that window's probably 9 or 10 feet away, and he's literally just standing there looking at me, and he's curious. Anyway, it's a big deer too. All right, how do you minimize being nervous when you get a big name guest? My answer would be, you just gotta have fun and go with it, and just get lost in the interview. Like, just have fun, be yourself, get lost, and then you know what I mean. What do you guys say, Larry?
I tend to use that energy or the nervousness to up my game a little bit. It seems like the bigger the name is, the more I am into the interview and the more I want to carry on a more rational and almost normalized conversation, as opposed to going, okay, well, tell me about this. All right, well, that's cool. Tell me about that. And just laundry listing all of their accomplishments or all of their stories. I mean, I want to interact. I want to engage, and that nervousness helps me to do it.
I'm always trying to do the best show I can, so I don't have to feel like, okay, I've got a big guest and now I've got to up the level, or hey, there's a lot of people watching today. I'm going to bring it. So you're saying that basically, if there aren't a lot of people or some people that you invite on your show, you shouldn't treat well, or you shouldn't think that it's never okay not to do your best. So I feel like you just do what you do. Like, this is what I do. I host shows and I interview people, and like, they're stepping into my world as much as I'm stepping into theirs. Once the show is over, they're a celebrity and I'm somebody that, 3 other people in the squares now have heard of. But during the time of that show, if I think too much about it, then I'm not serving the audience and I'm not giving them a good experience. If I'm too like, oh wow, they're a star, but that comes with doing it a lot over time. And it also comes with sometimes knowing that even the people that we think are big guests aren't necessarily like famous. Like, if you think about Podfest, right? There's a lot of people at Podfest I would love to have on my show. I consider it an honor when I've had them on. Might even be nervous about asking a couple of them to come on the show. But when you get down to it, the only person who's like what I call real world famous is William Hung. Like, if I had never gotten into live streaming or podcasting, he's the only person at that conference that I would have heard of prior to 2015 or whatever. So that's kind of a way I keep it in perspective too, that like, there's Tom Hanks famous, and there's a cool podcaster famous, and
right. So Josh says, how do you get people you want to be on your podcast? Sorry for asking questions. I'm a podcast newbie. Well, it's good to be a newbie. How do you get them? There's a lot of different tactics you can try. My advice would be just try a bunch of stuff. First of all, do some research online and maybe list all the possible approaches to guests, and then see which ones you resonate with, and then just start trying them. I don't think there's any one way to do it. Would you say, Mark Deal? I know you got to go soon, bro.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of ways, but first to give you some advice. If you could sum up your podcast in one sentence, so when you give that one sentence to somebody, they know exactly what your show is about and who it's for, and if it's a good fit for them. That's a good start. Have that one sentence, almost like an elevator pitch, just a little mission statement for your show. And a couple of good ways. I see Brent is in the group. He runs podit.net, I believe. And there's a whole directory of these guests that are dying to be on podcasts. Search for your industry keywords, search for the expertise or experience you're looking for. Chances are they're probably there. I also run a Facebook group myself of about over 2,000 guests. It's called Podcast Guest Experts. Join the Facebook group like that. Again, search for your keywords. Look for people that would be a good fit for your show, and then comment on those posts with your one sentence. Hey, my show is about blah, 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 blah. Love to have you on.
There you go. And the other thing too is just, it's numbers, right? If you ask one person, you're going to get a yes or a no. If you ask 100 people, some of them are going to say yes, right? Just by the odds, right?
Sometimes I'm just thankful they respond.
Yeah.
I think Jocko people have blocked me. I don't know for sure, but I've probably reached out to him 4 or 5 times, and they just got to where they don't even respond anymore. I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah, I think Brent's absolutely right. You think about what's in it for them, why they would want to be on. So I like the first time, I guess both times that I've had Chris on my shows. I asked him on because I knew that he had a semester of podcast engineering school coming up. So I said, you want to come on and promote your upcoming semester? And obviously then he knows, and I know I'm going to ask him general questions about podcast audio and things like that. But that's kind of part of the deal, right? He comes on and gives my audience something they want, and he gets to promote what he's got coming up. Right. And so it should be a win-win for everybody. And the more enthusiastically I promote him and what he's doing, and the more likely he is to want to come back, and other guests will see that. And, as you get more guests, then more guests will come on, because it's like money. People don't like to give money to people who are broke, but once they think that other nice people, smart people are giving you money, then they want to give. It's the same thing with guests. If you can say I've had on XYZ, then, you know, ABC all of a sudden like, oh, okay, so it's been vetted before. So you just got to push and break through in the beginning, I think. And then once you do, but really, I mean, most people who are podcasters should, a lot of them don't have much business saying no to you. Like, I say yes to almost everybody who asks if I can find the time to do it.
Right. Yeah. And conservative Josh asked, and I think he might be away, but we'll answer it. We could tell him, but yeah, emailing it, like the direct approach is a little touchy. I feel it's a little touchy. If you approach someone too directly and say, hey, I have this show, like we've all gotten those emails. It's like, we know they just found your show somewhere. We know they never listened to it. We know they just want to be on other podcasts because they want to market their S. And they send you this spammy email that says, oh, I found your show and sounds great. And if you're ever looking for guests, this and that, like you could smell that like 9 miles away. So don't do that. If you're going to email someone, just email and say hi. I just wanted to say hi and maybe mention you have a podcast, but that's it. Just little plant a seed and maybe they'll respond and say, oh, well, what's that? And then within 2 or 3 back and forths, you can ask them and it'll sound much more natural than a cold pitch. Mark?
Yeah, I would. Before I jump off, I want to share. This is a formula I use for getting booked on shows. A formula I use for getting people onto shows that I run. Whether also to get speaking engagements and even sponsors and sponsorships for like even the event Podcast Editors Conference. My formula is I'll do emails. Yes, I do cold emails, and I start off by why I love that person or company, and it's either like 2 concise sentences or 3 bullet items. So it shows that like I really know what this person or this company is about and why I want them on my show or be a sponsor or whatever it may be, but we'll stick to shows. But yeah, if you're reaching out to somebody through their business email, like, hey, I'm reaching out because I see you went to this school, or, you know, you did this and you were in the military and now you're the marketing director for whatever. Throw some stuff on there as like, oh, wow, you really know a little bit about me. And then 1 or 2 lines like, hey, I run this show podcast. It's about, and then your 1-line mission statement. And then you can make it a really quick close call to action would really be a call to question. You know, would you like to come on our show sometime? And follow up. Not everybody responds to the first email they get. And I'll be honest, I don't respond to a lot of the first cold emails I get just to see who follows up. And it turns out a lot of people don't, but those that do get the gold. So if you really want it, follow up. Just do it a different day. If you emailed somebody on a Tuesday, try again on a Thursday. If it's a morning, try an afternoon, maybe 5 or 6 follow-ups. If you're going beyond like 7 or 8, chances are they're probably not going to get back to you, but that's okay.
What's up, Randy? Glad you're here, bro. I don't mind sending cold LinkedIn messages to potential guests, asking them if they'd connect to consider appearing on a podcast. Don't promise them anything, but my connection rate is 100%. Yeah, there you go.
Nice
and easy.
Yeah, it's much easier to ask somebody to be on your show. I rarely ever ask to be on anybody's show.
Yeah,
Chris. I asked Chris because I wanted.
Oh, you asked me to be on my show? I forget.
Yeah, I asked you to be on, or I applied through your online thing. Like it's like one of the only ones that I've ever asked, just because I wanted to get on and talk about gear and stuff.
Yeah. That's
different. In general, I don't know. I mean, I think that's a tougher one. Is why are you pitching you got to have a real good understanding that you're bringing something to that person, or there's some way, as everybody said, that you're connected to them, that they would take a look. I don't know.
Yeah, we got to switch topics.
Pitch in the weirdest ways too. I mean,
yeah, we got to switch topic though, because it's like such a beginner question, which is good for conservative Josh because he's a beginner. But like, you know, the answer is find a couple ways to reach out to people and then just start doing it and just be nice, be a good person, try to add value, and that's it. And do it for 3 years. That's it.
have them on your show, and then you've got probably the door open to at least write an email to them, right? After that,
check out potted.net also, right?
There you go.
Yeah, what is it? How do you
Potted?
Poddit.net.
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 That is the only time I've ever asked to be on a show is through Poddit. And even then, I feel like an idiot asking. If somebody doesn't invite me, I'm just like, I feel like I don't belong there. But man, Brent, I hope your website works.
I know this is a long load time, but
because everyone's hitting it now.
Yeah. See, our millions of listeners are all going there. All right, well, there you go. Poddit. Get connected. The best way to connect for your next podcast interview. The best podcasters and guests together in one place. I know him. I know him. Okay, anyway. So stupid. Well, there you go. Poddit. All right. Well, look, we made it through an hour. This has been awesome. Mark, whenever you have to go, you guys can go. When any of you guys have to jump off, feel free. Yeah, you're going to head out. Mark Deal.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, brother.
Great job. Thanks for having me, everyone.
Yeah, he cut out pretty quick. Cool.
Not much for goodbyes. Poor guy.
Yeah, I think he wanted to leave for like the last 20 minutes. Or maybe his wife was calling him or something, right? Something.
That's kind of my gig. I'm probably going to need to get out of here too. It's 7. TV time starts at 7:30, and if I'm not there,
okay,
I'm in trouble. So, fellas, I appreciate it so very, very much for letting me come in here. And
yeah, Larry, what do you want me to bring anything up on the screen to promote for you? What should I show, bro?
You can just bring my website up, readilyrandom.com. All my latest articles are on there. They rotate in and out, but then I have my Ask the Mentor page, which has all of my articles. And you can also check out my back library of episodes. If you scroll down, there's all of my episodes are there, including the latest and greatest. And like I say, I'm on hiatus till the 5th, so not going to be any new content jumping out at you just yet. So bear with me. Take the time. Go ahead and subscribe to the show and listen to some of the old episodes. There's some good ones in there. Some bad ones. Just don't go back too far.
Why? There you go. All right, Readily Random. Everyone check it out. Larry Roberts, thank you for coming on here, and thank you for again tweaking my slides for Podfest.
My
Great
pleasure.
job, man.
All right, Rob, great meeting you, sir. Y'all take
Great
care.
meeting you, Larry.
See you, Larry. Take care, brother. Yes, Mark left. He's the only one I couldn't. Yes, you're right, Bandrew. Yeah, and we talked about that earlier because someone else asked what mic he was using.
So now you're stuck with me because I couldn't come up with anything else to do together.
No,
I figured I slowed the show down enough in the first hour. What am I going to do? Jump off and let it get back to full speed?
I just want to make sure everyone understands that in about 55 minutes, we are going to end this stream, and then everyone else is going to go over to the Sunshine Summit. So just go to sunshinesummit.live. You can click and join, and it's Heather Welch doing her Sunshine Summit. The name of her show, her regular podcast, is called Sunshine and Power Cuts, and so she's streaming live on Twitch. So you can actually go on Twitch and find Sun Power Pod on Twitch, and just follow her on Twitch there, and that's where they're going to be streaming live tonight in about 55 minutes. And don't forget, Bandrew and his Geeks Rising Network are the guests in 55 minutes. So we should all go over to Twitch and just light up the chat with serious hype.
I think attendance is required. We should probably take attendance. Everybody's required to go over there for Bandrew.
Yes. All right. Brad has to run. Bye, Brad. Thanks, brother.
And
rock on with the family. Oh, yeah, baby. Sun Power Pod. Hype in the blanking chat, okay? I don't say those words in the lounge, Ross. By the way, Ross, I must admit, and I must admit to everyone who's here watching, having 4 people on, it's sometimes difficult to sort of be the host and keep it going and keep, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like when when it's two of us, it's easy. We're just talking. So
Yeah, because nobody wants to be the one who jumps in first, and everybody wants to kind of listen and give somebody else an opportunity. And you get those dead air moments where it's like, okay, somebody's got to go.
right.
Somebody's got to say something. But you feel like you got to structure it more with four people, because it's not just like, this is more like a phone conversation. But when you have four people, it's like, okay, what are we going to talk about? What's the topic going to be? Does everybody get a chance to say what they need to say?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And in a way, it just seems like too many. Eldest says, Chris, since you're on Twitch, when Heather goes live and you are ready to go to her stream, type /raid at SunPower Pod. Okay. I've never actually done that. Oh, this would be cool. All right. So everyone, if you don't know what a raid is on Twitch, so we're live streaming now, not only on Twitch, but Facebook, YouTube, and what's the Twitter one?
Periscope.
So at the end of our stream on Twitch, I can actually raid SunPower Pod, which means I just transfer all my viewers over to her. So, and I've never done this before. Oh, this is going to be good. But here's the thing. I got to wait until she goes live, right? So we can do that. We'll have
I
to
haven't
watch
done a raid before.
Yeah, so we'll have to, if you're still around, Eldest, and maybe you could like tell us in the chat, like, okay, raid now, go do it, and then we'll do it. Kelvin says, Chris, you did a great job allowing guests to speak first before stating your opinion. Oh, thanks. Yeah, with that one question, I very consciously did that. So thanks, Eldest. Yeah, I mean, hopefully I can do it. All right, but there you go. So in 50 minutes, we're gonna sunshine it up. Until then, it's me and Ross Brand. Dude,
in the lounge.
Millions of listeners worldwide. This would have been, I can't imagine if live streaming and the internet in general, but also live streaming was around when I was like in high school. I literally can't imagine
God, I would
have done with
to see what I would have looked like or said or whatever. I mean, yeah. How many ways can a kid ruin their life?
Oh, jeez. I know. There's so many parts of my childhood and my younger years that like I'm so happy there weren't phones with cameras on them everywhere taking pictures.
Well, I mean, kids I guess are much more media savvy than we were, or they keep a lot of their stuff that they just share with friends private. But I can't imagine sharing whatever I was thinking about of the issues of the day when I was 17 or 16 and, going back to look at that and being like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because, you do think you know everything at that age.
Totally.
When I was 16,
by the way,
I probably could have had this virus thing all wrapped up in a couple hours. Now I realize even the brightest minds don't know what to do. But, when you're 16, you think you know it all.
Totally. So if you're here in the lounge, say hello. If you haven't said hello yet, tell us what your show is. And again, the lounge is here. If I go to this page and then I go here, this is our Facebook group. If you're not a member, join. But make sure you don't spam and you don't self-promote, all right? We don't allow self-promotion. You can't just paste your episode link in here and share it. I mean, that's one thing I don't understand. Like it'd be one thing if you posted in a group and said, "Hey guys, I have a new episode. I think it's really good. Check it out." And then they post the link to their show. Okay, that's spammy for sure. That's self-promotion, definitely. But okay, at least you said that, okay, it's an episode, your new episode, whatever. But the people, they just put the link in and they just hit enter and they post a link with no context, with nothing. And it's like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like what if everyone did that? I mean, that's the one question you have to ask. If you're ever not sure if you're going to spam a group or say the wrong thing or self-promote too much, just ask yourself, what if everyone did this? And usually Like if everyone was just going to go to Facebook and put in a link and hit enter, what would happen? Dude, Facebook would be useless. We would all leave Facebook within like 24 hours. We'd be like, this is crazy. It's stupid.
Right.
And even in life, even in life, when you're making life decisions, what if everyone did this? Anyway, look, it's just a question that makes you think so you can reflect on your situation. It's not like a magic question or anything, but Action does not use Facebook anymore. What is that, Eldest? Action? Action Jackson? Wasn't that a movie? Oh, yeah. So, Ross, New Jersey, weather today, what was it like?
I don't know. I didn't go out of the house today. It was about between 68 and 70 where I live.
There you go.
But no, I didn't go out. I went out yesterday. It's the only day since like middle of last week that I went out. I'm trying not to get this virus, trying not to spread it, and trying to take all the precautions. And I kind of think everybody needs to do that.
Totally. Yeah, Kelvin, you could post your show here or just tell us what it is and I'll pull it up on the screen. Absolutely. See, in the lounge, it's different. We can just hang out and pull something up on the screen and see. Ross is practicing social distancing. Good boy. That's right. At least it'll slow. It's like for a couple, what we're really doing for these couple weeks? We're allowing these face mask companies and the drug companies to make all the stuff we need. Because once we start going out again, people are going to get sick, right? I mean,
yeah,
we're slowing it down. We're not stopping it completely, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be very grossly underestimated how many people have this, given that people can't get tested unless they had contact with somebody else who's been confirmed to have it. But those people who you'd think would have it haven't been tested either. So there's a mass of people out there who haven't been tested. I'm not saying like everybody's got it or anything like that, but there's definitely more people have it than without any doubt. Right.
Right. All right. So Eldest, the Twitch command broke it. He meant to say the Eldest bro does not use Facebook anymore. Yeah. And apparently Eldest, a lot of younger people don't use Facebook much. Like what I've heard is that a lot of younger folks, they have a Facebook account and maybe they go on there, randomly, but not often at all. See, these deer are right here, man. So cool when the deer visit me. I wish I could turn the camera and show you guys. Bandrew says, Chris, I think you're mistaken. These 2 weeks, the world leaders have decided to force everyone to live like Bandrew.
Hey, it's smart. It's the way to go.
Yeah. All right. That's right. They all sat around a table in Geneva, Switzerland and said, you know what? We really should force everyone to live like Bandrew Scott from Podcastage. And then they talked about microphones for the rest of the meeting. All right. 81 degrees Kelvin. Let's check it out. Oh, I don't know how to make the degree sign. Uh-oh. Am I going to find it? Am I going to find it? What if I take out that? Oh, geez. What's the URL? Kelvin, what's the URL, man? Oh, you don't have a website yet. That's okay. I wanted to pull it up on Apple Podcasts. Oh, let me type that. Yeah, I don't know how to make that little percent, that little sign thing, or the degree sign. I really don't know how to do it. All right, let's do this. Let's search in Spotify. And I'm not playing any background music today, Ross. Did you miss it? Did you like it?
I really didn't notice until you said something.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't on my mind.
Yeah. How do you search for a show in Spotify? What the F? I literally can't. Dude.
There should be a search button there.
Dude, Kelvin. We got to make your show easier to find, bro. Or all right. I'm an idiot. That's for sure. I'm an idiot. That's a given. But still, dude, like, you know what I mean? I can't even.
Scroll down.
I can't. Oh, scroll down.
Yeah, you got to get a search bar in there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know how to get it, man. Oh, here it is. Wait. 810kelvin.castoscott.com. Oops. 810kelvin.castos.com. That's it. There it is. All right, we got it. Here it is. 81 degrees Kelvin. It's a podcast for anyone who cares to listen. Brought to you by ypodcasts.com. Okay, there you go. Let's see your latest episodes. Oh, yeah. Latest episodes. Top 3 things naysayers of the coronavirus might be missing. What if I click on this? There we go. Naysayers. Are there really naysayers, Ross? I mean, I saw some people online saying that this whole thing was not really that big of a deal, and they really are curious why so many big organizations and events are shutting down. But I don't know. I think pretty much everyone gets that, right, Ross?
Yeah, I mean, there've been a few posts, and those things have been declining each day. But there still were a couple over the weekend that I was surprised to see.
Right? Yeah. I mean, now I get now. I'll go like 100 steps further. I believe that there is a possibility, however small, that this is some sort of a global fear campaign orchestrated by people to make us live like this for 2 weeks, just so we get used to it. So in the future, when the next thing happens, we all know how to self-quarantine. Right? I mean, you could really go down a rabbit hole, but you're never going to know anyway.
Right.
It's like even you'll know for sure that there's aliens before you're sure that they orchestrated something like this, right?
Right. I wouldn't put it past, but given the information that we do have, you got to err on the side of like, I'm going to stay in and be careful and I'm just going to run out there and hug every single person I see in town because I know this is for sure a bunch of hype that doesn't mean right. I mean, you got to take the sensible position on it. And then, look, there's all sorts of stuff that goes on that we don't know that we get wrong information on, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah, Bandrew, we played a video of you earlier saying sound great, which is an unlisted video on YouTube. Oh, yeah. So, all right. So in 40 minutes, we're going to switch over to the Sunshine Summit. And then I got to produce that episode later tonight. What you got any plans later tonight, Ross?
I have an episode that I have to work on where I didn't get the guests' audio right. And I don't know, this will get too technical maybe, but basically I only use one channel on the Mix Pre 3 to plug a mic in 99.99% of the time. So, I got channel 1 for my mic and channel 3 for the return audio from the computer. And if I interview somebody in person, I'm doing it like this. If I'm here, I got my mic plugged in. Channel 2 is never really being used. So I plugged in my guest mic in channel 2, adjusted the gain and everything on the Mix Pre, and it sounded perfect in my headphones. But what I hadn't done was routed it to the because there's so many different menus and stuff. I didn't go into the output menu and route that channel 2 to the USB to send it to stream to wherever I was live streaming to all those platforms. So while it sounded great in my headphones, the recorded version, which I didn't record locally because I had to change locations and whatever, and I didn't have time to set up the recording that I thought in the Mix Pre. So I take full responsibility, but I'm wondering if I can salvage that audio because basically my guest came in through my handheld mic.
that you had held up to your face?
Yeah, it was an omnidirectional, and so the guest came in quietly through that omnidirectional mic.
So the guests had their own mic though,
They did,
but you just didn't record it. Yeah.
right. And because when most mixers interfaces are like plug and play, right? If you had like a Scarlett and you plug it right in, it's going to send everything USB that you turn on, right? But the mix pre, you have to set the outputs because there's so many different ways to output your audio. And
but the thing is, though,
I didn't set the output in channel 2 because I'd never used it before. Whereas my channel 1 is set to always output to USB.
But why didn't you didn't record on the mix pre itself?
I didn't record because I had to change locations and break down everything and set it back up. And it was like set up and go right on the time we had to be live. So I didn't get to record locally, or we would have had a perfect recording because in my headphones and in the mix pre, the level was perfect.
Yeah, you always need to record. If you're plugging mics into a mix pre, I don't care where you're sending it. I don't care where else you're recording it. You should hit record on the mix pre itself always. Like you should not even start an interview without your mix pre rolling. Like just think of it that way, man. So you never do this again, basically.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
is
so
that audio salvageable, do you think?
It can be. It's going to sound weird, but you can use a lot of either compression or put it through Auphonic, the leveler in Auphonic. That might do some good. Or you could use a vocal rider or just compression, or just manually go in and like clip out his answer and raise up the volume of just each answer, which is a manual pain in the ass. But
you got to clip out. You got to clip out every single answer and then adjust the volume just on that answer. That's what I was afraid
and
of.
Hopefully you didn't speak at the same time, because that's a problem. If the guy was answering your question and while he's answering, you're going, uh-huh, mm-hmm, okay, oh, good, all that stuff will ruin it. You won't be able to salvage it, I guarantee, if you did all that. Right, so if you just were quiet and let the guest answer, then you'll be able to bring up the guest part and you'll be able to salvage it. But if you're
you'll have a lot of air in there, right? You'll have a lot of static.
Oh, it's going to sound way different. But there's like, look, here's the thing. You can have audio that sounds really good and that's fine, but you can have audio that sounds bad, but then you can process it so that it's acceptable for the listener.
Right.
It's not going to sound great for the listener. It'll be acceptable. They'll be able to listen and understand. That's it.
Right.
That's what you're going for. You're never going to make it sound great. You just want acceptable.
I already tried, like, in my video editor, I already tried leveling, a leveling plugin. I tried a compression, whatever. Not enough of a difference to
try Auphonic.
I'll try Auphonic first.
Yeah.
Would you just use the default settings, or would you make some changes on them in Auphonic?
No. So with Auphonic, I don't know am I gonna have to log in? Try it. No, I can't get to the screen. All right, let me try to log in real quick.
You want me to bring up mine and then just share the screen, or
if you have it, yeah.
I mean, I don't have the file in there, but I can get on my Auphonic.
Yeah, if you can log in, that'd be cool.
Yeah, man. Let me share that.
Let's save. All right, I actually got in.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let me. Here we go. This is Auphonic, and so you select all your stuff. Well, you choose your file, right?
Right.
You upload your file right here, right? And then, and then here you go, your audio algorithms. Adaptive leveler, that's the thing that's going to level out those two, your voice and your guest voice.
Right.
So you want to use that. If you want a specific loudness, then you could use this loudness normalization. Filtering, this rolls off the low end. So if there's a lot of low end, you could probably use this filtering. Noise and hum reduction. I mean, unless there's serious noise or serious hum,
Yeah,
Or you could try it too.
I
Try
don't
with or
usually
without.
use that. I don't usually use that one.
Yep. So there you go.
The loudness normalization, should I just save that for like the final version, or
No,
should I
it's up
do
to you. I mean, it depends on your production. I mean, all my raw production files I normalize to a certain level before I even bring them into my DAW. That's
so
part of.
Do you run it through Auphonic first, or you do it in another
No, I
app?
do it in RX7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do similar stuff to the. Well, I do similar stuff, but I don't use Auphonic.
Right. RX7 is supposed to be amazing at like saving audio.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's for podcasters who are recording guests and the guests don't sound good at all. RX7 is like so valuable to fixing bad audio. You just there's nothing else like it. So yeah, Daniel loves RX. Yeah, baby. Yeah, and one of Ralph's relatives works for Isotope.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I always buy everything. Like the only thing I ever got for free was because because Focusrite sponsored some of the podcast editors conference. I did get a 2i2 to try out and that, through Focusrite.
Right.
But like my sound devices, I mean, I know those guys. Well, I don't know those guys really well, but I know some people at sound devices and I know people here and there, but I never ask for free stuff. And I just don't want to do that. You know what? I'll pay for it. I'll use it. I just want to do that. I mean, I respect, it'd be like, for me in my school, it's like if someone really wants to learn, they're going to take the school. They're going to pay and enroll in the school. Where, yeah, you could just read my blog posts every day and you could follow me everywhere and you could learn a lot. Don't get me wrong. But, and some people do that. That's great. If they don't have the money to sign up, then just do that. But if you do have the money and you want to learn but me, if I want a microphone or I want some gear, I just buy it because, I want to help out that company as well. Right. So.
Now, if they gift it to you, you would take it.
I would. I've taken the gift. Actually, Roger Cloud, he did give me a cloud lifter too. That's another thing that I got without buying it. So what's up, chat? What's up, lounge? We're drinking water here. We're hitting it hard on a Monday evening.
This is how the crazy people live.
Can you believe Ralph, though? He literally showed us 7 bottles of whiskey.
He's prepared.
Like who? Did he really prepare like that?
I don't know.
Wow. That's a lot, right? I don't know. That reminded me of the movie Leaving Las Vegas. When Nicolas Cage was going through the liquor store with a big shopping cart, filling it up all the way. Like literally probably 50 bottles of liquor. And that would probably last them like 3 days.
I don't know where Ralph lives, but if he's in New Jersey, he's past the curfew. He can't go out and get any more. So it's a good thing he's stocked up.
Curfew. Oh, seriously, Jersey has a curfew.
I got to check that. That's what I was told. It was like an 8 o'clock curfew. Curfew.
Right. All right. Well, for those of you watching, is there any curfew where you are? I don't think there's one here, but I'm in Colorado Springs.
It says voluntary statewide curfew.
Okay.
New Jerseyans should not leave their homes between 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. An extraordinary action of recommending a statewide curfew for 9 million residents in an attempt to contain the spread of the coronavirus.
Oh, man. Look at that map, dude. Jeez. Oh, we're in the dark red. Death. The dark red is where all the deaths have occurred. All right.
Wow,
Everything-
Australia and New Zealand too got hit bad.
Right? Look at those. There's a few African countries where it didn't get to yet. That's good. I hope it never goes there. Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Australia? Isn't this going to change? Isn't this rolling? I thought the map. Yeah, it's scrolling, right? Yeah. Anyway. I was and there's their chat's showing up. A couple lines of their chat is showing up on the bottom right of our screen. That's funny. Okay. Seriously, why didn't it change? Oh, here we go. Now it's changing. China mainland. Okay. Very interesting.
Almost
right.
200,000 cases.
Right? Well, I feel pretty good, meaning I think everyone's taking drastic measures and it's gonna end up okay.
Yeah. It's going to take some time.
I still didn't finish that movie my wife and I started. Remember, I was talking about it yesterday on the stream. Did you watch anything, Ross?
I didn't. The lounge is what keeps me going each day. That's
the
my viewing
lounge.
pleasure.
Yes, welcome to the lounge. Whoever just showed up, welcome. Tell us who you are and where you are, and tell us what your podcast is if you have one. And if you have a million friends that are sitting home not doing anything, could you send them the link to the lounge, please? Thank you.
They only have to come one time. It'll give it that big boost in the algorithm, and then organically you'll just get thousands, tens of thousands pouring in, and you'll be all good.
Yes. And I just realized what I can set up. Oh, you did finish Frozen 2, Daniel? That's cool. I'm going to set up my other camera to
outside,
point out the window. Well, I'll set it up
now,
inside,
right?
but pointing out the window. Yeah. So if the deer come, then we can. It'll be like the deer cam or the wildlife cam. We've seen a lot of wildlife at my house. Okay. First of all, deer, wild turkey, bobcat, rabbit, a million rabbits, bear, a bunch of hawks and like eagles, not bald eagles, but big birds, a couple different red-tailed hawk, and then another one, a Cooper's hawk. Big. We've seen the big owl. I forget what the biggest owl. I forget what they call it. It's not a barn owl. It's anyway, whatever owl that is, the biggest one, sitting right in our tree for like hours during the day in the winter sleeping. It was so cool.
Are there other houses near you, or are you in the middle of?
Yeah, there are other houses. We are in a development, but our development is like literally right up against where the mountains start. So like I could, from where I live, I just have to walk up a hill, probably not even a half mile, probably a quarter mile up a hill. And that's where the houses stop. And literally that's where the first mountain is of the Rocky Mountains.
Wow.
You know, so
nice.
That's why the animals, they come right.
They haven't heard about quarantine and isolation.
I don't think so.
They come right up.
But animals get viruses and they get diseases too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor guys. They don't know anything, right? They're just living and then they get sick and so, oh man, I got to produce that episode later.
I got to save some audio.
You're going to do it. There you go. Yeah, try off. See, trying off phonic with the adaptive leveler, that's a good adaptive leveler. That's a good thing to do just to experience that and see how it fixes it. And all right, so
that doesn't work. Free trial of RX7.
If they offer it, sure. No, well, but see, RX7 they have a leveler in there, but I don't use that ever. So to fix what we were just talking about, I wouldn't use RX to fix that.
You'd use Auphonic.
I would use Auphonic. I would do it manually, or I would do it depending on how tight the cuts are between your question and his and the guest's answer, you could use like a compressor with a really long release time. That's an old trick, like 3 seconds or 4 seconds or 5 seconds. I have some plugins where you can turn up the release time to 5 seconds, which is, let's put it this way. My everyday compressors that I use, the release time is around 300 milliseconds.
Right.
So like a third of 1 second, right? So when you use a really long release, you can actually squash down your voice. And then when you stop talking, the level comes up slowly, and then the other person starts talking and makes them much louder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I wonder what I can set it. I would need a plug-in for that, right? There's no compression setting that's going to have it.
Oh yeah.
Like
well, what DAW are you in?
I'm using ScreenFlow. I know I got to move to an audio DAW.
Yeah, I mean, if they have, try to find a compressor and see if they give you attack and release controls.
There's a couple different compressions options. I think there's a dynamic processor that I think you can adjust compression on. There's multi-band compression. There's a couple different ones.
You don't want multi-band. You want a single band, but then you want to be able to control the attack and release. That's what you got to verify.
Okay.
Because if you can't adjust the attack and release, then it's probably not going to work. But Alphonic's the way to go, or manual. Manual is the real way to fix it, by the way.
Cut each clip and then adjust the level.
Yeah.
Boost it like 300%.
Yeah, or like depending on how many, you got to figure that out. So take a section of your guest, boost it up like 25 dB, and then listen to that, and then listen to your voice, the volume of your voice, and the volume of that, and you might be like, oh well, I raised it 25 dB, but it's still not loud enough. So then you undo it and then raise it 30 dB, and then you can do that a couple times, and then you'll realize like, okay, for me to make his voice sound equal to mine, I have to raise it up, 32 dB. I'm just making up a number.
Right.
So 32 dB. Now you just go through the entire episode, clip out him speaking here, 32 dB up. Next one, clip him out, 32 dB up, and you just raise your guest 32 dB the whole time.
Well, it's also going to make a difference is where my mic, because I was using a handheld. Yeah. So if my mic is like, I'm looking at him like this, and it's an omnidirectional, it's going to be quite different than if I was looking at the person on the other side.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you were consistent.
Because I figured I had his mic was mic'd through channel 2, whereas the other person I was, so I may have to take the other person's audio and just do like a write around where I go, one of our guests joined us to talk about such and such. And I asked her and then I go to play a clip of her answering and then come back and, do like 3 or 4 questions that I write so that it's just my audio from studio, and then play a clip and then do that with each of the guests and make it work that way. Might be the only way to do it, to salvage something.
Yeah, that's a lot more work.
That's a lot of work.
Because you're going to have to write out your questions, and you're going to have to make sure that it makes sense with the way they answered. And so you're going to have to go through and test it, try it. By the way, welcome to the new folks who just arrived. Welcome to the Podcasters Lounge. Hey, you want to see something cool?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Facebook group and live stream. If you're not part of our Facebook group, definitely join. But don't promote yourself or your show. Just enter the lounge in a chill manner and just be cool, man. Just chill. Don't push your S on everyone.
Don't eat the brown ass.
I mean, dude. And thank you for everyone who's in the lounge who plays along and plays nice with others. Really appreciate that. It's a really nice place for us to hang and chat. In 20 minutes, we're going to switch over to the Sunshine Summit. And I know the eldest bro said I could raid her on Twitch. But I don't know. Yesterday, what happened is she started the stream on the hour, and then like it didn't show up for like 12 or 14 minutes. It was really weird. It was like the hold screen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Chill. Yes, Facebook user, chill. And by the way, you can give right in the Facebook post, you can give StreamYard permission to show your name on the screen so we could see who you are instead of Facebook user. Can they automate that, Ross? I mean, why? Like,
no, you have to sign away your permission because Facebook doesn't let you do it for a group unless you
right. But here's what I want. When someone types a comment and they hit enter, I would love if Facebook there'd be a little pop-up that says, hey, your name's going to show as Facebook user, or do you want to give permission so we can show your name? And then someone could just check a box and hit post.
Yeah, and it would be nice if Facebook did that.
That would be nice. Oh, it's Jim Collison. Dude,
hey,
Jim was holding it down in the lounge last night, drinking beverages on camera. Not like Ralph, but I mean, you know.
He didn't show the whole cabinet, just what he was drinking.
Know. It was on the table, right? It wasn't even in the cabinet. He had them lined up like he was expecting company. Like heavy drinking company. Wow.
That's gotta break the 10-person limit.
I mean,
that would be some serious company.
And then he showed us his cigar, his humidor, like where he holds his cigars and stuff at the perfect temperature. Where's Ed Sullivan? He's a cigar smoker. They need to smoke together. You smoke cigars, Ross Brand?
I do not.
Me neither. I could never. I tried it like once when I was much younger. All right. Anyone here smoke cigars or cigarettes or anything else? If you smoke something and you want to tell us what you smoke, feel free to put it in the comments. I mean, you can just put an asterisk if you want. All right. So, yes, the eldest smokes life.
Here's Jim.
Okay. Now over here. Oh, yeah, Jim. Oh, he's on YouTube. Yeah. Wait, what? That happened quick.
Jim wants to jump in.
Happened? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jim. How did I give you the link last time? It was through Facebook, right? Yeah, hold on one second. So Ross, tell us about
anything.
What was the last
country?
Foreign country you visited? What was the last?
The last foreign country I visited was Portugal for Web Summit in November.
Oh, that was November.
Yeah, so I went to Lisbon. My first time in Europe. Very cool.
Cool. All right, Jim. I just sent you the link in your Facebook Messenger. And it's not easy to. I mean, StreamYard is great, and it does make it easy. But like, I don't know. It's just my skills of managing it. I don't have the skills yet to do like a million things and drive the conversation. Jim Collison, everybody.
Yo. I survived Monday at home.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I made it. I even wore Gallup gear today. Where is it? There it is. I even wore the logo wear today. I was just holding on for dear life. It was brutal.
Really?
It was awful. Well, my password expired like at 6 a.m. this morning, and I couldn't get logged in, and I had to go in twice to get it unlocked. So it took a little while.
Oh wow!
Wait,
your password for what?
It's for work. So I had to get in.
Work.
Yeah, it expires like every 4,000 years, and this was the day.
Oh wow!
This was the day it expired, and I thought, oh, well, it's no sweat. I'm an IT guy. I'll be able to. I'll just fix it. No, it's not. I had to go all the way in and go to the help desk, and they sprayed me down when there's a decontamination chamber there where you come in.
Really?
They spray down. No, but pretty close, and. So I got my laptop set up finally around lunch, but I was just stressing hard because I knew everybody was sending me emails, and I was like, I can't get to anything. Literally couldn't get to anything. Had to schedule 3 meetings via StreamYard because that's all I could get to. So I jumped into StreamYard, created it, made it private, didn't click go live on it, right? And then send them the StreamYard link. I'm like, hey, can you join me over here? They're like, what is this? And I'm like, these are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah, disregard the interface.
The duck. Don't look at the duck.
Oh,
Powered by
And,
StreamYard.
So yeah, it was super stressful today, but it'll be better tomorrow. And then the other thing is like, so all my work gear came home and I set it up over the weekend, my laptop and a space to work and where I was going to do the camera stuff from. But there's nothing like actual game time, like Monday, like Sunday, you're thinking, oh, this is going to totally work. Right. And then Monday comes like, none of this works. Like I need this over here and that over there. And my eyes hurt. And, it was just awful. So I'm kind of glad the day is done. I got
okay.
I picked up some suds and you started talking cigars. And I just like 10 seconds ago, I was like, I wonder if I'm going to go on the back deck and smoke a cigar.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
So
what's up, Andre Lewis?
as soon as you started talking that, I was like, oh, okay. Well, if I can't do it, maybe I can talk about it.
Yeah. We should do so we're going to have a lounge soon, which is a bunch of members of Just Busters, which is Carrie Caulfield, Eric's female podcast editor group. So
Nice.
So Ross and Jim, you guys aren't going to be able to be here on that stream.
Get booted?
It's only
booted?
me
I'm out.
and the ladies.
This is
I'm
the
out.
Sunshine Summit, right? That's all right. Ross and I are going to start our own competing. And then we're going to just talk trash about you guys. You and John Lee Dumas.
We'll have our own ladies.
Exactly.
Just that's it. I'm going to go get Addie. That's all I know. That's the only girl I know. Jessica. Maybe.
Ralph.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not Wednesday, Andre. I've been streaming. This is my third day in a row streaming the lounge.
So, Chris, like, is this the more regular? Like, when you first started doing this, you were doing it all the time, and then it got less, and then it got like once a month. It was like, hey, we're going to try this a couple times a week, and we're going to try it once a week, and then like once a month. So, just because you think there's more people with staying home, or what? What's your thought process?
The reason I'm ramping it up right now is just because I'm gonna be home and not really going out and doing much. So it's sort of for me, like meaning I'm here and I'm around and it's like it's fun. And so I'm like, you know what? Why don't we just stream more? I don't really have a plan beyond that. So
it's like the old days of Blab. Like we'd be on every night.
Really?
There's something going on. Oh yeah. Early
That's cool.
Blab, man. There was something going on every night. And then camps started dividing and there were people flinging things at other people. And
oh boy.
it got heated and then it just ended. Like,
And then they just pulled the plug on it.
So weird.
Gone.
Well, one thing about StreamYard, I think, because the guy Gage who started it, or he's one of the guys who started it,
Gage,
like
yeah.
they're just independent guys, right, Ross? They're just regular people.
Straight up guys too. Super smart guys.
And they're running it all out of their own servers and everything. It's not a third-party solution that they just dumped in there and hoped it would work as more users.
Yeah.
Which is why the quality is really good, because they've optimized it to work for what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Ross, do you know, have they had to ramp up? Like has things picked up because now more people are doing this? Do you know? Have they said anything?
Well, I mean, they've been growing pretty much anyway, but I haven't spoken over like the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, because they're busy adding servers. Like,
right, exactly. I'm not like, hey, what's the latest update?
Gage has just lost all his hair. Like it's gone. He's like, oh, I need more servers. Spin up more servers. I'm sure he's got scripts that write scripts to spin up new servers. So I'm sure he's a pretty smart guy. So I bet he does. That's how they do it. That's how the kids do it these days. They write scripts.
Yeah. And they got server farms.
Oh yeah. They got virtual machines and all kinds of things.
I mean, Andre, how many server farms you got? Eldest bro. How many you got?
You gotta have a server farm. I mean, I got a server farm. Do you got a server farm?
I know Ralph. No, Ralph rents server space, I believe. Because I think Ralph he either still does it or he used to offer, because he does marketing for people, so he would also offer them website hosting. So he got like space on a server and installed his own little mini website hosting thing. And apparently it works great for certain clients, right? Because certain clients, they don't want to touch that.
Right.
But I don't know if he does it anymore. But see, Eldest does not have a server farm. Okay.
Now, how is a server farm different from the cloud?
Same thing.
It's more
a private cloud.
It doesn't get affected when it rains.
So,
technically,
server.
They don't
farm,
have to go all the way up there to put.
Doesn't get
put
muddy.
it in one hand.
Doesn't get muddy. Those kinds of.
Andre Lewis has one. Yes, he has one server farm, and Sean Kelly on Periscope. Are you kidding me?
What the?
Sean Kelly, PES graduate. Sean Kelly, everybody.
Sean.
So are we going to talk cigars for a second, or did I just hear that? Like I got invoked.
We are not cigar smokers, but Ralph is. So here,
Okay.
so give us, talk to us for a few minutes about cigars, Jim, before we get ready for the Sunshine
Okay,
Summit.
first of all, why not? Why not? It's just a health thing.
Well, no, I've tried this. I tried a cigar once when I was younger, and I didn't like the taste. And it overall was nasty experience.
Yeah,
That's all.
kind of like beer. Like the first time you drink beer, you're like, this stuff is terrible.
Sure, but for me, beer was like, oh man, really? But like, I can handle that. Cigars was different. Cigar, I was like, why would I got such a
just get the right
reaction.
one.
Like, why would anyone ever smoke anything like this?
No, it's just you got to get the right one, right? You can't just maybe you got like one that was too strong, or that was dry, or that had been had been sitting for a long time.
No doubt.
Right? Maybe you just got a bad one. And what you really need is the right one. Ed, you got to get Ed Sullivan. Like that guy is.
Yeah.
He's forgotten more than most people know.
Wow.
He's a genius. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what I realized about the cigar culture, because it's a whole different world. Like it's like a secret handshake kind of thing. It's like, like when you meet people like, hey, you smoke cigars? And well, maybe. Okay. And then once they trust you, there's a culture around it, and it's really it's kind of like the whole intent is to bring people together, and then to relax, like just sit, enjoy a drink, enjoy a cigar. It's not like I got to go out and crank down a cigarette or just to get that nicotine. Right. So I started doing it. So I have four older boys that one of them's overseas right now, but that have started doing that with me, and it's just really enjoyable to sit with them and enjoy a cigar together. We get a couple a month, and although I just admitted I was thinking about one tonight, I'm not gonna lie, it was and then I thought, I can't smoke alone.
So in terms of like bottles of wine, when I did, because I haven't drank in a million years either, but like like an average bottle of wine is like maybe $20 or $30.
Cigars are a lot cheaper.
I was going to say, what's the average cigar cost?
So you can get into a good premium cigar between $5 and $10. And that's like buying it at the shop. If you're online, you're probably $3 to $7.
The Eldest non-drinkers unite.
Yeah. Well, no, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. It's better with a drink. Like, smoking a cigar with a drink is better. I think it's like a good pairing. It's like when you pair something with a glass of wine, something like that. It's kind of, So, you're not talking a lot. It's gone up a lot. I mean, it used to probably be less than you could get us a good cigar for $5. And now, we went out, my brother was in town last weekend, and he bought, some like $23 cigars. Oh, and that's a little, I think that's probably on the pricey end, 30.
Would you taste the difference there?
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
It was smoother. It was almost creamier and kind of just a little more tasty. Like you get a cheap cigar like you did when you tried it for the first time.
That's a man who likes his cigars.
You are right. It had notes of like rose petals. Had some rose petal notes.
A little bit of
cinnamon,
Central Massachusetts in the summer. Flowery.
Cinnamon. When you get the pizza crust that is still on the cardboard box, and you get that like on day 3, that's what you were smoking.
It's like plugging in an old SM7B into
Yeah.
like a vintage mic pre, and it's
Oh.
just like,
When you can
butter.
hear it, when you hear the sweet tones, the sweet tones. Man, there was a sweet tone. Was that here? I heard something. Maybe I was listening to Dave Jackson. Somebody was saying, if you say the word fish, it makes like that word looks like a fish in a wave file. I think I heard that on Dave Jackson's show. Yeah.
Interesting.
And so there you go. The sweet tones of fish.
Yeah.
Is that a salmon? Is that a salmon tone? Is that
Halibut? Lewis.
Yeah. Is that halibut? It's carp. It's kind of a, you kind of have to get into a smoking zen when you're smoking cigars, right? It's kind of you don't just do it. You kind of, you get the drink, you get the cigar, you want the environment, you need the whole thing around you.
Right.
It's kind of a whole different thing.
Now, question though, since you don't inhale cigar smoke,
Right.
Is cigar smoking like bad for you in the same way cigarette smoking is, or is cigar smoking totally good, like not bad for you at all?
Cigar people would say it's not as bad, right, for you. You're still inhaling smoke into your mouth, so there's still some, depending on how much you do it, there's still, smoke has carcinogens in it, right? It's still
getting
there.
into your body, right?
It is there. There's nicotine in it, so you're still it's still being absorbed. Right underneath your tongue is a huge absorption spot for that kind of stuff, sugar, salt. If you just put it underneath your tongue, it'll like poof,
I bought this vitamin B liquid
Mm-hmm.
from the health food store, and they're like, it's like a little eyedropper thing. You get some vitamin B, and they said to squirt it under your tongue and leave it there for like a minute.
Yeah, right into the bloodstream. Like that's a kind of a trick. Sugar will do the same thing. If you're ever feeling nauseous, oftentimes if you just take a little bit of sugar and put it underneath your tongue, it'll solve that. It'll just stop that. Not every time, but that helps with it. So yeah, you can still now, and then depending on the lounge or where you're at, you're in a room full of smoke. So while you're not inhaling, it's secondhand smoke, right? I mean, so you can't really. Now, if you have a better cigar shop has really good HVAC and ventilation and filtration, and so it's taking all that stuff out of the air for you, so you're not getting the secondhand smoke,
right? As much, yes, yeah, as much, yeah. It's so funny once they stopped allowing cigarettes in bars and stuff, like. I just became so sensitive to it. Like I could smell a cigarette from like 100 feet away, man. Like it's like a lot of times in stores, for some reason, people smoke right outside of a store. So like sometimes when you're walking up to a store, like even before you see the person smoking, you'll be like, oh God, what is that? And someone's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. It's just real common now because there's so little of it even in public. In Nebraska, you can barely smoke outside in public. You have to be in a designated smoking area, right? Kind of deal.
Oh,
and I mean, I'm sure out on farms and stuff, people do it all the time, but in the city anyways, you got to be, so you just don't see it a lot. You don't smell it a lot. So yeah, you can smell it. You can definitely, there's this place I go downtown, Havana Garage. That's where it's a cigar shop, man. You walk by that thing and you can definitely like, it is like, whoa. So my dad was a pipe smoker and he smoked cigars too. And it reminds me of him. So I only started, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. And as I got into it, it kind of reminded me of my dad. And it's a regret I have that I didn't do it with him like that. Now looking back, it's one of those kinds of things, a friend of mine started a podcast, things I wish I had said to my dad or things I wish I'd done with my dad or something like that. She interviews people who talk about, those where they have those. Oh, I wish I would have. And I think that's something I wish I had. I wish I had done that with him.
So, by the way, because I just remembered, I was speaking with some other people in the podcasting space about doing a week-long getaway. What were we calling it? The party cabin. We were going to rent a cabin in the middle of nowhere, and we were all going to bring a bunch of gear and just spend a week just recording and messing around and
swinging from the rafters,
dude. No cameras allowed type stuff. No.
What time are you
All
on, Chris? What time do you have to go on with your?
Well, no. So
Is it the
any
top
minute,
PR?
the Sunshine
Oh.
Summit is going to start, and
okay.
the guys from Geeks Rising, the podcast network, Geeks Rising, which Andrew Scott from Podcastage is one of them, and there's a few other shows. They're going to be with Heather Welch on the Sunshine Summit. We were going to do a raid, but you know what? I think Eldest Bro is probably the only one on Twitch watching us. So
Yeah, you've been going 2 hours strong, my friend.
Yeah, so I'm actually not. So Eldest, I'm actually not going to raid her unless she comes on in like 1 minute or so.
What does that mean? What's a
Raid means when you're streaming on Twitch and you're about to end your stream, instead of just ending your stream and all the viewers everyone just gets dropped off, you can what they call raid another stream. So all your viewers go over to that other stream
nice.
automatically.
Nice.
So it's like that's what friends do. So if you were streaming, if I was streaming and I had like a bunch of people and I'm going to stop streaming, I could just send my people over to you. And then, and then it's cool because you would get this notice like, oh, you've been raided by Chris Curran. And like, 189 people are now like more people are now on your stream.
That's how many we're watching right now, right? Like 250 or something.
Well, a lot more, but I want to keep it humble.
Yeah. I got
I mean, we're
not
killing
about the numbers.
Yeah,
we're killing it.
But, it's just who doesn't want to hear this riveting conversation about cigars? Most people. Hey, I got listeners who are like, stop talking about that. Like they literally contacted me because I started talking about it on Home Gadget Geeks, and they were like, no, don't do that.
All right, Eldest. See, Eldest, he's giving me the sad face. So now I think we might have to wait and try to raid.
How do you like
Chris
Twitch?
Curran, master of being humble. I wish.
Ross, so you endorse Twitch as a place to go? What do you think? Live stream?
I generally get 0 views on my channel. But that being said, I'm starting a new show tomorrow on Twitch.
Okay.
So the channel.
Let's talk about that.
New channel, new show. It's the channel's Podstream Live, and that's the name of the show. It's going to be Michael Kinney and I are going to talk about all things broadcasting.
Nice.
He's got a background in TV and acting, and I got a background in radio. And we're going to talk about what we're working on and how we look at different things. It's going to be a Twitch kind of show where it's just kind of casual conversation. And
is your channel up?
It should be. I don't know if we've added any branding or anything yet.
Okay.
I thought about just streaming I do some Bitcoin mining, and I thought about just adding the miners to it and just streaming the miners mining. See if anybody just sit and watch that.
Yeah, Ross, if you want to drop a link to your show in there. And Jim, you mine Bitcoin for real?
Well, it's burst coin, right? So I do hard drive mining with it. There's no money in. I mean, there's no money in any of it, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah.
But But burst coin. So it's hard drive capacity that you have. So I have like 90 terabytes of hard drive filled up with these plots that compete for. It's just like Bitcoin. You know how Bitcoin mining works, right?
Yeah, they have to solve an equation first.
They do. So in this case, you pre-plot those equations on hard drives, and then it searches for the right thing. So the more hard drive space you have, the better chance you have of solving the equation. So it's a more cost-effective way of doing Bitcoin mining.
Right, there's a link. Twitch.tv/Podstream Live. So let me I just want to see it.
Yeah.
You're not going to see much right now, but you can subscribe, and then
but in a week
you'll get notified.
4,000 hours worth of stuff out there.
Tomorrow, Jim, if you're taking a lunch break at 1:00 Central, it'll be 2:00 Eastern.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be geared like people are working. It's going to be kind of radio style, so feel free to just listen in another browser as you go about your.
There you go, the passive listening audience.
Yeah,
Daniel followed, and so
thanks, Daniel.
The Sunshine Summit didn't come online yet.
Maybe it's not sunny over there.
Oh, it's sunny, buddy. New Zealand. Oh, we're going.
Are you?
In fact, well, my wife and I.
That's coronavirus is over.
That's one of the places we want to go. Yeah, I mean, after all that, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Do you guys Do you guys use Twitch do you use the browser or do you use the Windows application of Twitch?
Browser.
Okay.
I've never
Browser.
used the standalone.
I'm
I didn't know there was a standalone.
Yeah, there's a standalone Windows app, but
Okay.
let me log in here.
Oh, for Windows. Okay. Right. Yeah. She's not live yet, but look, this has been an awesome lounge. We're going to end it in a few minutes. So thanks everybody for being here. Again, if you're not if you haven't joined the Facebook group, please do. Here it is. Well, that's the name and the logo and everything. It's easy to find on Facebook. And Jim, tell everybody what you're up to. What do you have to plug?
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I got nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's got the Home Gadget Geeks every Thursday night. You can find that at theaverageguy.tv.
Nice.
Thanks, Ross.
Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m. He joins Dave Jackson for Ask the Podcast Coach. You can call in live with your questions. It's like free consulting.
He's my hype man, by the way.
I know everybody's
Wow.
shit.
I like this.
Excuse my French.
I
I know
Oh.
everybody's.
Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow at noon as well with Gallup stuff. We have 5 webcasts I'm doing this week. So,
You gonna be setting up your home studio like your Gallup studio? Or you gonna
No,
be using
it's
it
just
as is, or
just like this. I moved some things around, cleaned it up just a smidge, so you can't see much of it, but cleaned it up just a smidge, put a little curtain up here, but yeah, just like this.
if you get a green screen,
I know. I thought about it. I had
you
it,
could brand it Gallup.
I had
Nobody
it
would
in
know
my,
that.
I know. I had it in the Amazon cart and I just didn't pull the trigger because I'm like you, Chris. You don't like cigars. You had a bad experience with cigars. I've never had a green screen that I've actually ever liked. And so I just I fight it.
Live from the worldwide headquarters of Gallup, it's Jim Collison. with
Yeah.
Well, it's not the
Called
worldwide
the coach.
Yeah. With like a window behind him of like a city at nighttime lit up.
Paris. Have Paris behind me.
Live from Paris, quarantined. Jim
Because that makes sense. Maybe I have the Shard in London behind me.
And Jim also
There
has
you
Cyber Frontiers, which is I think every other Monday night.
Yeah, no, about every 5th Monday night.
Every fifth Monday
We were
night.
going to do one tonight, but we both were like, yeah.
But the back catalog's really good. So every other Monday night, I listen to something from the back catalog.
Nice, Ross. Remind me to send you that check.
Yeah. Okay, terrific. So Eldis, we're still waiting for Heather to go live on Twitch, and then I'm gonna raid her with one. I'm gonna send.
I want to see how
one,
this works. Hold
yeah,
on.
I'm still waiting. She's not
Let's
live.
go.
Are they supposed to go live now though? I thought they were supposed to go live
So she's on
6
Twitch.
minutes ago.
For this,
Yes,
this Sunshine
Sun
Sun?
Power Pod.
Sun. Power.
Chris, of course, has a new semester of the podcast engineering school coming up in April.
Yeah,
Spot's
end of
still
April.
open.
Oh yeah, we got 4 students enrolled, including a friend, Liz Covart.
Podcastengineeringschool.com to sign up.
Oh yeah, baby.
You're such a good promoter, Ross.
He's such a pro.
Man.
At least there's one professional here. Well,
I
2,
know.
but
Look, you too. You too.
oh, we just forget to promote ourselves. That's what happens. We're just hanging out.
Hey, if you're enjoying the programming, you can check out the Podcasters Lounge on Facebook. It's a Facebook group, but don't drop your links and go promoting and everything. Chris doesn't want that. Just join, enjoy the conversation. It's a lounge, it's a community. Have a good time.
Is it
Yeah,
Podcast
maybe
Lounge on Twitch? What do you want?
Podcasters Lounge on Twitch.
Lounge.
Podcasters Lounge everywhere. Podcasters Lounge. Yeah, and so see, the Facebook group is really awesome, and it's a great vibe, and like that's why we don't allow self-promotion and stuff. We're just there hanging out, maybe say something funny, maybe help somebody. It's just that's all. It's a really chill place, and we like to keep it that way.
Wow, Twitch is not very far behind at all. Like Twitch is like 3 seconds, maybe.
Yeah. Twitch
Yeah.
has a great
Yeah. Wow.
speed.
It's a good quality download if you forget to record on your mix pre, as somebody might have for the podcast, and then you maybe forget to download from StreamYard within 7 days. You do have a nice recording here on Twitch. think it's double the file size of YouTube's download, which I always thought was not a bad download.
Yeah,
So.
that'd be good.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That's cool.
All right. Well,
All right. I think we're
boys.
gonna call it.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I think we're done.
I think we're good.
Eldest has a 2.66 second delay here. That's good. And Eldest, sorry, we're not going to be able to do the raid thing today because she's not online yet. And I don't know if there's a problem or what, because I actually wanted to watch. I was going to watch that right now. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe she's having some difficulty. Anyway.
All right. Peace out, friends.
See you, Jim Colliston.
Take care. Thanks for letting me jump in. Yeah, likewise.
Thanks, Chris.
See you guys.
All right. Take care, Jim. See ya. All right. Ross Brand, livestreamuniverse.com.
Sounds good.
Thank you, brother. Peace, Eldest. Really appreciate hanging out with you, man. Thank you, everybody. And should I do what we did? You know what I did last night?
What's that?
Right at the end, I was like, one more thing. And then I stopped the stream. I was like, wait, what? Wait a second. Just one last thing. And then, so because I wanted.
That could become your signature goodbye.
I know. Well, some people do that. This one guy I watch, he did that. So, she's live. All right. Okay. I see it. Oh, it just disappeared. All right. Well, if she's live, I'm going to try and raid her. Oh, and you said you gave me the command, Eldest, but I forgot it. If you want to post that command again, and then I don't know, where do I put that command? In Twitch? Somewhere in Twitch I put that command? Anyway, for everyone who's watching, thank you for hanging out in the lounge. And, you're always welcome to participate in these live streams and in the group. And here's the other thing. If you ever need any help with anything, just ask us in the lounge or whatever. Okay. In the Twitch chat.
Bit rate for video. Audio for bit rate for audio for video. 256. 128. 112.
There you go. Whatever question you have, I'm here. All right. I'm going to try and raid her right now. /raid at SunPowerPod. Okay. Hold on. All right, she's up there now with 17. All right, in the chat, I do /raid at SunPowerPod. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna raid. One viewer is ready to raid SunPowerPod in 2 seconds. 1 second. Boom. Raid now. There we go.
Let me get on over there.
Okay, I just paused her. So we're going to end the stream here. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you. Now there's 6 people here. Welcome, everybody, to the Podcasters Lounge. We're actually just jumping off. Ross, if you want to jump off, I'll hang around.
It's a reverse raid. You sent them over here.
Dude, I just sent our audience somewhere else, and all of a sudden a bunch of new people came on. So if you're here and you want to say hello, tell us your name, where you're connecting from, and
all right, I'll catch you later, Chris. Thanks.
All right, Ross. Peace out, brother. Yeah, so if you want to say hi, I'll be on here for another few minutes. And then we're going to go watch the Sunshine Summit, okay? In fact, why don't we all just go do that now? Go to Twitch, Sun Power Pod. This is how I rated that channel, but this is the spelling. Sun Power Pod on Twitch. If you want to go check that out, the Sunshine Summit is happening right now. So let's do that. All right. Thanks, everybody, for hanging in the lounge. We'll see you next time. Peace out.